You know that feeling. You've got all your papers, you're feeling pretty organized, and then boom, that question pops up. Which ITR form do I actually use?
Oh, yeah.
ITR-1, 2, 3. It suddenly feels like you're navigating a minefield. Pick the wrong one and, well, who knows?
It's definitely a common point of stress, a real headache for a lot of taxpayers.
Right.
And the Indian Income Tax Department, they have these different forms, ITR-1 all the way through ITR-7. And like the source material you brought these excerpts from, which ITR should I file? It makes it really clear. These forms are specifically, classified. It depends entirely on the type of income you have and your status as a taxpayer. Getting it right is, well, pretty crucial.
Exactly. So our goal today, digging into this guide, is to sort of unpack all that, make it clear and hopefully usable for you.
Yeah, actionable.
We obviously can't cover all 7 forms right now, but for this deep dive, let's focus just on ITR-1, Sahaj they call it, because the guide, it lays out some very specific rules for using it.
And that's what's really useful about the guide, how specific it gets about who can use ITR-1. It's aimed at resident individuals, yes, but there are some strict rules about their income.
Okay, so let's break that down. What does the guide actually say? Who fits the bill for ITR-1?
Okay, so primarily, it's for someone whose main income, their total income, comes from a salary or a pension. That's really the core group it's designed for.
Salary or pension. Got it. Pretty standard for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
What about other kinds of income? Does the guide say anything else is okay for ITR-1?
Yes, income from other sources is allowed, but, and this is important, the guide immediately flags some major exclusions.
Oh, okay. Like that.
Like, you can't use ITR-1 if you have income from winning the lottery or from owning and maintaining racehorses.
Okay. No racehorses, check.
Right. Or gambling or certain kinds of speculation income. The guide also points out specific taxable incomes under sections like 115 BDDA or 115E. The way the guide singles these out tells you, look, these are different beasts. Even if you have a salary, this kind of income bumps you to another form.
That's really specific. So other sources isn't just a catch-all then for ITR-1. What about income from property? Rent, maybe?
The guide says you can include income from one house property, but, and this is a key detail the source highlights,
Okay.
if you have losses from previous years related to that property that you need to carry forward, then ITR-1 is not for you.
Ah, that's a crucial distinction. So no loss carry forward on property.
Exactly. It shows ITR-1 is meant for, more straightforward property situations.
Good to know. And agricultural income, is that allowed?
Yes, the guide says that's permitted, but it puts a definite cap on it.
How much?
Only up to 5,000 rupees. Again, it just reinforces that this form is for simpler tax profiles, nothing too complex.
Right, right. And isn't there an overall income limit for using Sahaj?
Absolutely. The guide is very clear on this point. Your total income cannot go over 50 lakh rupees. That's a hard limit for ITR-1 eligibility.
50 lakhs. Okay, so the guide paints a pretty clear picture of who can file. Now let's flip that based on the source. Who, no matter what, cannot use ITR-1? The guide lists disqualifiers, right?
Yeah. First off, the guide states that non-residents and individuals classified as not ordinarily resident, they can't use this form.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the guide's emphasis suggests these statuses involve complexities ITR-1 just isn't built for. Different residency often means, well, different tax implications.
Okay. Who else is excluded?
Anyone with income from a business or profession, so if you're earning money from self-employment, freelancing, running your own shop, the guide says ITR-1 isn't the right fit.
That's a big one. So if you're your own boss, even on the side, this form is likely out.
Correct. And like we just mentioned, that RS 50 lakh total income threshold. If you cross that line, the guide explicitly says you're disqualified from using ITR-1.
Got it. And the property rule again.
Yeah, the guide states if you own more than one house property, you can't use ITR-1. It's strictly for those owning 0 or just 1.
Okay. And those specific income types you mentioned earlier, the lottery, racehorses, are those also definite disqualifiers?
Yes, the source is unambiguous there. Having any income from lottery winnings, horse races, gambling, that specific speculation income, or under those sections like 115 DBD, 115E, it completely disqualifies you from ITR-1. Full stop.
And finally, the guide brings up capital gains.
That's right. If you have any income at all from capital gains, maybe you sold some shares or property or another asset and made a profit, the guide says you cannot file ITR-1. It really highlights that those kinds of transactions, capital transactions, they just need a more detailed form.
Okay, so let's bring this all back to you, the listener, trying to figure out your own filing based on what this guide says.
Well, what this deep dive into the guide's details really shows is that picking the right ITR form isn't, just ticking a box. It's not some random bureaucratic step. It
Yeah,
depends completely on the nature of your income. Where's it coming from? And just as importantly, your specific status as a taxpayer. Are you resident? What's your total income level?
exactly. So understanding these conditions and limits, the guide spells out for ITR-1 things like which income types are in, which are out, that RS 50 lakh ceiling, the one-house property rule, especially that bit about no loss carry forward.
Mm-hmm.
And those clear disqualifiers like having business income or any capital gains, understanding all that is critical for your filing. You really have to look at your specific financial picture and see if it matches these criteria from the guide.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Considering just how detailed the rules are for even this one form, ITR1, which is often seen as the simpler one,
Yeah.
what does that complexity really tell us about all the different ways people earn money today? And maybe the bigger question is, why is it so incredibly important for you to take the time to understand your unique situation and match it carefully to the correct form using resources like this guide? It seems like that's the absolute crucial first step to getting your taxes right. Something definitely worth thinking about as you gather your own information this year.